Welcome back to Mossy Roots Farm, folks. Today we're testing out the capabilities of the squirrel I got on the microphone cover because it's super windy. So today, this is something I've been wanting to show for a while. This is going to be another ongoing test we got. So this is the hayfield here, and if you can kind of tell the line that I'm walking here, this side was hayed, let's say like August, the second week of August. This right here was not hayed. So that would have been a first cut. This was cut for first cut. So that would have been June, July-ish. And then over here, I grazed the cows. And so you may ask why I left the strip. Well, and I wanted to do a test. So up here on this part, they got a tremendously large section of ground to graze. Here, they got a much smaller section to graze, so that's going to show me right there whether I overgrazed or undergrazed, which section, which side. And I forget exactly where the line is. I think the line's like here from kind of looking at it, but you know, I ran a strip down the middle here, and this side I did more grazing, this side, or I'm sorry, opposite. This side I did more grazing, that side I did less grazing. And then right here, this was just plain leftovers. And one of the things the farmer who does my hay says all the time, and I'm glad I came out here because there's another fence post that I missed. Apparently I'm going to have to go through the entire field checking for fence posts. Oh, that's a broken one. That's healthy. Because I don't have a basket on the four-wheeler for fence posts yet, which I'm going to do very soon. I just haven't done it yet, so good thing I checked. But anyways, our disagreement is if I graze the cows like you see over here, does that hurt my hay crop? Now the neighbor farmer says that it does, but when I look at it, I disagree. Now I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm not saying he's wrong. Or right, you know what I mean. What I'm saying is I want a true test that I can see myself, that I know exactly where it was, and I can come out here with a grazing stick and estimate how much forage we have. I don't know if you guys have seen a grazing stick, but maybe that's another YouTube video I got to go over. I want to be able to test how much forage we have out here because, as you see, I did leave leftovers. Now, maybe that's a little bit lower than what I should have left, but the problem I was facing was this snow. Now, this snow does not look very deep at all here. It literally looks like a dusting. But when we were frozen for 2 weeks, there was 2-3 inches of snow on this at all times, so it was very difficult for me to tell how much the cows had grazed and how much they had not grazed. So the other thing is that because it was so difficult and because this was my first time, I'm sure I made a mistake, and currently we're walking over to what I assume is going to be a mistake. So when I first started doing this year, I gave them a summer-sized portion of grass. You know, this was the length of summer grasses that I had been grazing. Now, it doesn't look very long because it's knocked over, but it was about the same size. That's a cute little rock. As what I had normally been grazing throughout the summertime. And so over here, we're going to see if this grows any better than on this side. And in fact, I'll just keep walking this fence line because it's more obvious here, seeing as how I way overgrazed the one portion. And so what I mean by all of this is I gave them a summer-sized portion here, clearly too low. From the looks of it, from the cow's body condition, I just need to give them more. And I didn't realize that because one, I mean, that was my first time, and yes, I know that when cold weather hits, you need to have more food for cows, but seeing it, knowing how much to give and all that, that's a little bit different. But, so this is the piece that I'm saying is severely overgrazed, and it doesn't look as bad now that the snow's off of it, but when there was snow, it looked like it was barren. And then we come over here to this piece, where I gave them about 1.5 times what we just left. And you see there's lots of leftovers. So I probably could have gotten a little tighter over here and been okay. But again, like I said, I had no idea. There was, honestly, on this portion, there was 8 inches of snow at that point. So the cows were digging through the snow just to get to anything. and I couldn't see it, couldn't tell at all. So I'm glad that this looks a lot better. But that's the test that I did. I had never grazed a hayfield before. I know a lot of folks do it. I know some local farmers in the area that do it. I know a guy out in New York that does it. So that's why I wanted to try grazing the hayfield this year. I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was doing before I grazed the whole hayfield, because my ideal goal is to fence all this property in and to get the cows out here on a regular rotation. You know, I want to leave this piece as a main hayfield for the summertime, but if I need a little extra grass, I'm going to take from here to feed hay. And the reason for that is there's another grazing council talk coming up in a month that I want to go to. This guy has got, between him and his family, I'm going to guess 150 acres for his cows. But he's able to graze hayfield in the wintertime, graze pasture in the summer, and still feed hay and be all right. He's got that much land. I don't have that much, so it's harder for me, but I think it would be doable if I could graze this hayfield here. So, well guys, that's it for my videoing of this test here. I wanted to get it videoed, so I had a proof of what it looked like after the fact, so that I can go back and watch this video and see exactly where I grazed, exactly how I grazed, and if I need to change something for in the future and for next year or years later, I can do such a thing. But I just wanted to get out here and take a little video and explain to you guys what I'm doing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.